All right, let's talk about something huge. If you're building your UX portfolio, picking that first case study is honestly one of the biggest decisions you're going to make. It can feel like a lot of pressure, but if you get this right, it just sets you up for success. So today, we're going to break down how to pick a project that really truly shows off your skills.
So, you're all set, right? You've got the tools, you've learned the methods, but then you hit that wall, the blank page. And this is the question every single new designer asks themselves. What am I actually supposed to solve? Where on earth do I even begin?
And for so many people, the first idea that pops into their head is something big and shiny. I know, I'm going to design a travel app. You see stuff like this in other portfolios, and it just feels like what a real designer would do. But, and this is a big but, this is actually a trap.
And this right here, this is what we call the solution-first trap. It's when you decide on the final product, the app, the website, before you even know if there's a real user need for it. You've basically picked your answer before you really understand the question, and that's where everything starts to unravel.
Okay, so look at this comparison. It just lays it all out, right? On the left, with solution first, you're kind of stuck. You're trying to shoehorn a problem into the UI you already have in your head, and that taints all your research. But on the right, the need-first approach, it starts with a genuine, messy, real-world problem. And the solution? Well, it could be anything. An app, sure, but it could also be a new process or even just better signs. It's authentic.
And here's the kicker. This really matters because experienced hiring managers, they've seen hundreds of portfolios. They have a sixth sense for this stuff. They can spot a mile away when a project is just a pretty interface without a real validated problem driving it. They know when the research feels, reverse engineered to fit an idea. So what's the big takeaway here? You have to make a complete mindset shift. Seriously. Stop brainstorming app ideas. Instead, just start looking at the world around you. Pay attention to your daily life, your friends' lives, and start hunting for those little points of friction.
And a really powerful way to do that is to start thinking in terms of the end-to-end journey. Now, what does that mean? It's not just about the time someone spends staring at a screen. No, it's the whole experience, from the very first thought about doing something to the absolute final step. That includes all the physical, messy, real-world stuff that happens along the way.
Think about something as simple as parking your car. It's a perfect example of this. The experience doesn't just start when you open a payment app, right? It starts at home when you're just planning your trip. Then you've got the stress of circling the block, looking for a spot, trying to figure out some super confusing sign, and then finally getting back to your car. Every single one of those steps is a touch point loaded with potential problems just waiting to be solved.
Okay, so let's talk about another big temptation. The one where you decide, I know, I'm going to redesign Spotify. It feels ambitious, right? Like you're showing them how you can make a great product even better. But for a portfolio piece, this is usually a huge strategic mistake.
Yeah, let's just put a big red X on that idea. Seriously, don't do it. A full top-to-bottom redesign of a massive platform like Spotify just isn't realistic. For one, that's not how most designers actually work day to day. They focus on specific features. And more importantly, the scope is just way too big to do a good job in a single case study.
So what's a better way to go? It's all about narrowing your scope. Be a sniper, not a shotgun. Instead of redesigning the entire app, why not focus on just one specific flow, like how new users get set up? Or you could dive deep and analyze a single feature, like a reward system. You could even do a heuristic evaluation to find some objective usability issues. This shows deep, specific thinking, not just a surface-level makeover. All right, so you've found a problem. You've narrowed your scope, but is it actually a good topic? How do you know for sure before you pour hours and hours into it? Well, this simple checklist is your final sanity check. You want to make sure your idea ticks these 4 boxes. First up, is it relevant? Does it fit into the kind of industry you actually want to work in? Second, does it have enough complexity? You need something meaty enough to show your entire process, research, ideas, testing, the whole shebang. Third, can you show measurable impact? How could you prove your design made a difference? And finally, does it have story potential? Remember, a case study is a story. You need a compelling narrative.
Okay, but you might be thinking, where do I even find these problems? If you're feeling a little stuck, don't worry. Here are 3 amazing places you can start looking for that perfect topic. First, and this is the easiest one, just start with your own life. What drives you crazy every day? What's that one thing that's just poorly designed? Write it down. Second, check out open source projects on sites like GitHub. So many of them are desperate for design help. And third, look at service design, those systems that blend the digital and the physical, like keyless car entry or ordering your morning coffee.
Look, if there is one single thing you remember from all of this, please let it be this. This is the fundamental shift you need to make. Stop thinking about the cool app you want to build. Fall in love with a real, frustrating, interesting problem first.
So, I'm going to leave you with a little piece of homework. As you go about the rest of your day, just keep your eyes peeled. Ask yourself, what's one little annoying thing I ran into today that I could actually solve? Because the answer to that question, that could be your next great portfolio piece.